When it comes to examining the so-called hoarding situations, I have talked about, and I will continue talking about, the significance of the other side of the equation. That means everything else in person's life. Resources, relationships, their entire situation. Relationships particularly have a huge impact on person's life. They can consume resources, demand time, space, and attention. And toxic relationships can have a much more significant impact than healthy ones. This is not theoretical. I know this to be a significant factor because I experienced it myself. And I'm 100% certain I'm not the only one. Now, the issue I'd like to point out is this. Why are the main experts on hoarding, Frost, Steketee, and others, so silent about this? They discuss the impact of past relationships, from childhood, parental home, past trauma, etc. But they are completely silent on the potential negative impact of current relationships. They are not shy about pointing out the negative impact the so-called hoarding can have on others, but they say nothing about the subject being on the receiving side of current abuse. Why is that? Narcissism experts have spoken about this. They have episodes talking specifically about how a toxic relationship will have a very negative impact on a so-called hoarding situation. Unfortunately, but understandably, they still operate within the traditional theory of hoarding disorder. But the message is still the same. A current toxic relationship is something to beware as a factor. A toxic relationship can claim all of person's resources, including money, space, time, and attention, leaving nothing for discretionary use. A word of caution: we have to be careful with this narcissism framework. Just like with hoarding, a theory that seems to explain everything can be a double-edged sword that gets misused. It's easy for the abuser to frame the victim as a narcissist. But still, the fact that this is a plausible scenario that is certain to happen is undeniable. But why are the top experts on hoarding so silent about this? I have a few potential explanations. First, it might break their simple model where the big bad hoarding disorder is at the root of all problems. Admitting that it may not be so simple, that there may be negative factors in the other direction, introduces inconvenient exceptions and invites inconvenient questions. It becomes not as simple, not as clear-cut. Once you allow enough of these exceptions, the model starts to fall apart at the seams as a more flexible discussion starts. Second possibility: follow the money. As I've pointed out, many of their books are not written for those they call hoarders. Books are written for everyone else, including family members. Those are experts, clients, customers. Introducing the uncomfortable possibility that they may have played a hand in the disaster may be bad for business. It feels good to have a clear and simple culprit to blame. I don't know if either one of these is true or intentional. Maybe there's something else. Maybe it's just a blind spot. But the fact remains clear. The mainstream experts on hoarding aren't covering this factor. But we will continue discussing this. Stay tuned for more.